In today's video, I'm going to show you stretches and exercises that you can use at home to help fix that pain in your upper and middle back, and I'm going to show you how to fix it for good. Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Bridge, and this channel is really dedicated to getting you stronger, keeping you active, and helping you return to those things you love or keep doing those things that you love. I know that in my life I do a lot of sitting, whether I'm working at my computer or maybe I'm just relaxing on my phone, and it's really difficult for me to maintain that nice upright posture. I oftentimes find myself like a little golem just slunged forward, and it really hurts right between my shoulder blades. It hurts my upper back. It gets really stiff and sore. And so as I was doing my research, I thought, man, I want to find a video. I want to create a video that's going to help me. So today's video is a little bit selfish. But when we're looking at our thoracic spine, because we have our rib cage, it's an area that doesn't get a lot of motion compared to our neck. Our neck is very freely movable, whereas our middle back, our thoracic spine, is really kind of more tight and stiff. And then thanks to gravity and thanks to our modern lifestyle, there's a lot of gravity pull spine. Sometimes you'll get that hump at the base of your neck, and it's stiff and it's sore and it really sucks. So our first exercise that we're going to go, I chose it intentionally because it's very mild. It's a very good warm-up for what we're going to do after that. And it's got kind of a funny name. It's called the cat-cow. I don't know who named that, but if you can get past wanting to look like a cow, it's actually a very good exercise to not only get mobility into your thoracic spine, but also do some exercise and some strengthening there as well. So I'm going to show you first on all fours what that's going to look like. We're going to go on all fours and we're going to arch our back just like a cat and hold that for a couple seconds and breathe. And as you're arched, you're actually going to look down. That's going to create more rounding of that spine. But be careful when you're doing that. You don't want to push your head down too far to where it feels uncomfortable. You don't want to strain your neck. After we've held that for a couple of seconds, we're then going to do a reverse arch where we're bringing our sternum down towards the floor to create an arch going downwards. And we're also going to hold that for a couple seconds. That would be one repetition. And most people are going to have no problem doing 10 of these because they are quite mild on your spine. So once again, going on all fours, arching like a cat, tucking our head and chin down, and hold that for a couple of seconds. One thing that can be important to focus on is when you're arching, you really want that apex of that curve focused right about here in the middle of your upper back. We don't want it down here because we're not really trying to involve our lower back so much in this. We want it up more towards right between the shoulder blades. Same thing when we're going up and we're going down. So once again, up like a cat. And then the cow. And with the cow, we're bringing our head up, we're dropping our chest, we're relaxing, yet at the same time, we're stabilizing our core because we don't want to become unstable there. A couple of seconds there. Looks kind of goofy, feels really good. Already my middle back feels warmer, it feels looser. And if you're consistent with this, you're going to create a much stronger back, and it's going to feel really good. All right, I hope you're ready to get groovy. Before we do this next one, we're going to do a warm-up because it's going to involve our shoulders. With your right hand, place it behind your ear, and with your other arm, bring it out to the side. Definitely you have to point your finger. You're going to bring your elbows back and together. Play whatever awesome 70s disco music you've got. This is opening up the chest, putting some extension into your back. It feels really good. We're going to do 5 on each side because we're staying alive. Back here, point, back, open up that chest. Together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh man, I feel so cool now. Okay, now up onto all fours. And with that same motion, we're going to be creating some extension and some flexion and some rotation into that back, into that upper back. So start by taking that left hand, putting it behind your ear, and we're going to raise that elbow up and rotate our upper back. We're going up at a 45-degree angle. It also helps if you sit back a little bit more on your heels to minimize the rotation that you're getting in your lower back. So up, focusing on that upper back, hold it for a couple seconds, and then bring it down to the opposite knee. It's also a pretty mild one. Most people aren't going to have too hard of a time doing that, but if it's causing any stiffness or discomfort, start with 5 and work your way up to 10. And once again, we're doing that on each side. We want to mobilize and strengthen each side. That's a really great one to create that mobility into our back that it craves so much that we're not really getting when we're sitting at a computer or we're just walking in straight lines all day. Like I was talking about at the beginning of the video, gravity creates so much problems for this part of our back. So our back is meant to have a natural forward curve right through here. It's called our kyphosis. But with too much sitting and too much gravity, it's really just pulling down and it's creating too much stress and strain. And it's creating more curve than we want in this area. It's painful, it causes a lot of that stiffness. So this next exercise that I'm going to show you is maybe my favorite one. The goal is to bring that back and to reverse that and to do the opposite of what gravity is doing. So grab yourself a foam roller, and there's 2 ways that we can do this. One is we're going to put it perpendicular to our body like so. It's because I'm going to be laying back on it this way. That's going to help to put that extension into our thoracic spine. And it's very easy. You're just laying backwards on it and letting gravity do its work. And breathing. After a couple of breaths, I'll move it up or down depending on where I want to, depending on where the stiffness is, depending on where my body feels that it needs it. It feels really good. To take it up a notch, what you'll do is you'll take that foam roller and you'll turn it 90 degrees. And you're going to get a way different experience. And this is probably my favorite way of doing it. I'm going to lay on it with my spine going this way. And what that does is that allows your rib cage to just fold over it. So you get a really good stretch across like your pectoral muscles, and those ribs open up. Yet at the same time, depending on where you have the top, you're also going to create some extension into the spine. So I'm normally going to put this about mid-shoulder blade when I'm laying on it. So after you're laying on it and you feel stable, bring your arms up and back, and then allow them to be pulled towards the ground by gravity, while you're also letting your head and neck do the same. It's very, very comfortable. Try it. And like, I don't want to keep filming right now. I just want to keep laying on that because that's how good it feels. Move this up and down as you need. Now, for some people, this might be too much height, too much of a fulcrum. If that is the case, you can downgrade. You can use like a pool noodle, one of those floaty noodles. You can even grab a towel and roll it up and place that where you need to, place it where it feels good. For me, I need a little bit more extension. So the firmness of the foam roller plus the height provides the perfect amount of stretch for me and my back. But it's customizable. Do what feels good to you, and you're not pressing or forcing anything into uncomfortable ranges of motion that really hurt. You know, you'll soon learn to differentiate between a good stretch that's kind of uncomfortable versus something doesn't feel right when I do that. And learning that, you're going to really be able to avoid hurting yourself when doing different stretches and exercises at home. This last exercise that we're going over is a great way to strengthen those muscles in your back. So we're going to be targeting the rhomboids today. I'm going to show you with and without a band, but starting with a band, I have a pretty light band here. If I go all the way out, I can get an exercise, but it's a little long for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my hands in a bit so that I have a good grip, but my hands aren't too far apart. Sitting up nice and straight, I want my hands parallel to the ground, and then I'm bringing those back to 90 degrees. I guess they're making a 180-degree angle by themselves. Hold it for a couple of seconds. And I'm just going to do 5 of these. As you get stronger, go ahead and work your way up to 10. But that's a great way to bring those shoulder blades back, get those activated, get those moving like they're supposed to. If you don't have a band, you can get on like a table, or when I say a table, chiropractic table, or some way that you can lay down even just flat on your stomach. And you're bringing your arms out to the side, and you're doing that same motion. If you're going to go that route, one way that you can make it a little bit harder is by, holding like a couple of water bottles in your hands, or if you have some light weights, getting those out there, bringing those arms back. It's a great way to strengthen that area. Once again, the title of this video is how to fix this for good, not just for 5 minutes. And that really comes down to changing lifestyle habits. When you're trying to lose weight, there's a saying where they say, there's a saying that goes, you can't out-exercise a poor diet. You can burn a lot of calories exercising, and it's super important. It should be one of the most important things you do in your day. But, a really good exercise, you might burn 1,000 or more calories. Whereas in a big, unhealthy meal, you can eat 4 times that many calories and completely wipe out any bit of exercise that you've done that day. So the same thing goes with stretching and strengthening that thoracic spine. You might spend 15 minutes going over those exercises that I've just shown you today, but if you then go sink back on your computer with poor posture, or you get right back on your phone and you look straight down towards the ground while you're on it, you're really going to undo everything that we've done. So there's lots of different things you can do. I can't cover all of them, but when you're sitting, you want to be fairly upright, comfortable, but you obviously want to avoid that gravity that's just pulling and rounding your spine forward. So to give you one take home for this, if you're using your cell phone, it's really, really hard to maintain that proper posture. And one thing that I've found to be very effective, I'm right-handed, so if I'm holding my cell phone in my right hand, instead of just saying, okay, I got to sit up straight, what I'll actually do is take my non-dominant hand, stick it against my side, and then I'll put my elbow inside of the fist of my other hand. So if I'm looking at my phone on my right, I'll put it right in that fist, and that's going to bring it right up to eye level. And then even if I get tired or I get sucked into what I am doing on my phone, it's going to stay here. Whereas if I'm just like this, over the course of 5 minutes, pretty soon I'm looking at the ground again. So that's one thing that you can do at home to make these stretches more long-lasting. Find out, okay, where are my weaknesses in my posture? Is it when I'm at a computer, on my phone, watching TV? And start there, start small, start with one thing at a time, and maybe you're putting a pillow in your lower back to help you sit more upright. Or, you'll just have to look at that and say, how can I not kill my upper back? And if you're going to go throughout the day with better, more upright posture, and you're coupling that with stretches and exercises like we showed you today, you're gonna be able to take care of this, and it's not gonna be that carousel of reoccurring pain and stiffness in your middle back. So check that out. I know you can do it, and you can feel great and have this area not be a weakness for you anymore.